All right. I am so excited. I'm here with one of my dear friends and clients who I've worked with over the past several years, the beautiful Aspen Spratt. Hello, my dear. How are you today?
Hello. I'm great. Thank you so much.
Good. I'm so glad that you're here. I want to just share with everybody who's watching. She's agreed to sort of share a testimonial about our time together today. And so what I want to do is I want to just ask you a couple of questions about our work together, how it's helped you, how it's supported you, what you came to me for originally, and that's that. So let's start that off. So the first question I have for you, I know that we've worked together a couple of different times, where it's not like we worked together the whole time. But I think, gosh, when was the first time we worked together? 10 years ago?
It
12?
was, I think it was like 2011. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we've known each other for 10 years, if you can
Yeah.
believe that.
Isn't that amazing? It's been a while. And that's probably one of the reasons why I feel so close to you from a friendship perspective too, is because we've developed a friendship over the years, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's made a difference too. You
Yeah.
know, each time I've worked with you, it wasn't like starting over with somebody. It was like just going back to somebody that already knew me really well.
Yeah.
That helped with that next phase of my life.
Yeah, yeah. And we've done some good work, but I'd love for you to share with those who are watching. What are some of the things that you have come to me for over the years, some of the problems that you were dealing with, so that they can get a sense of what that was like for you?
Sure. Well, I'll go back to 10 years ago. 2010, I actually was moving home from England. I had spent almost a decade over there. And when I moved home, I was actually going through a divorce. I was moving countries. I was changing careers. And so I was going through a bit of a meltdown.
We'll shake up.
Yeah. And I also had someone take advantage of me, so I had all these different things going on in my life, and I really needed a beacon to kind of help me figure out, how do I get out of here? How do I get into a new phase? And so originally, when I reached out to you, it was actually a really tough time in my life. And you helped me just see different perspectives on how to look at those problems and look for the gifts.
Mm.
It really helped because I didn't have to just be like in that place drowning. It was like, here's some tools to help you look at this a little bit of a different way. And then here are the gifts that you can take into your next relationship, your next career, your next whatever. And so that really helped a lot. So then we worked together then. And then fast forward, you've done different workshops for my office, especially geared towards women,
Mhm.
how unique women are with our energy and the feminine versus the masculine. And in my career, in my field, it's very masculine dominated, and so I've always appreciated that I have someone that gives me permission to have this feminine side in that space and still be successful and productive. And so I think those workshops that we've done have really helped. And then the most recent time I reached out to you was about little over a year ago, I want to say, like June of 2020. And I think all of us were going through some things with COVID, and, the pandemic has definitely affected all of us in different ways. And for me and my family, there was a lot of silver linings. We got to slow down, we got to spend more time together. And I think I get to be such a busy bee sometimes that I like don't check in with myself to how am I doing? What's going on? And I reached out to you because I had realized that I was allowing a lot of people to put themselves first,
Mm.
and that I was kind of allowing myself not to be a priority.
Right.
And I wanted to change that. And so you had offered that Enneagram workshop, and everything about it, I was like, yes, 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 I want to do this. And that ended up being a really significant change in identifying my personality type and not making it good or bad, but just realizing whether it was healthy or disintegrated. And then tools on how to get up to a higher level of healthiness that I want to operate from. So that was huge. And then that went into, we started, meeting weekly within a group.
Mm-hmm.
That has been fantastic too, because you actually get a chance to, get other perspectives. And there's some times that I'll even be like, okay, I know this might not sound great, or this might, I might be, it's okay if I'm wrong about this. I just have a space that I can share that. And then if I have a blind spot, I get a different perspective in such a gentle way.
Mhm.
And it really helps. So I've continued to work with you. In fact, we're still working together.
Yeah.
And it's been, a really great thing, especially during this last year of the pandemic and all the changes and everything. It's so helpful to have someone that, I can go to and talk about things in a real way.
Right.
Knows me, knows my family, my dynamics, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And so we've worked together for a really long time at different times in my life, but every time it's always turned into something really great for me. Thank you, Jess. I appreciate you.
Oh my gosh, honey, I appreciate you too. And it's been such a pleasure to see you sort of blossom and grow and evolve. And I know you talked about the Enneagram. I know for me personally, that was such a powerful experience learning about the Enneagram, because it was like all of the things that I was struggling with all of a sudden started to make sense. It was like a puzzle started to fall, all the pieces started to fall into place. You know what I mean? And I feel like what you're talking about, the benefits that you've received, that was very much like your experience as well. It's like once you understand what's actually the real issue, then it's easier to go in and do the work around that issue than it is to try to go, well, I don't know what's wrong and why I keep doing X, Y, and Z and why I'm sacrificing myself over and over and over again. And and you being the perfectionist on the Enneagram with a little bit of the 2 helper wing going on in your life, that was, like you said earlier, you weren't saying no to people. You were saying yes to everyone all the time. And because of that, you were spreading yourself too thin, and it was making you unhappy, and you didn't know why that was happening. And so I really love your reflection about the Enneagram and how impactful that has been on your life, because that's how I felt when I first learned it too. Is like, oh, now I really understand what's going on. Now I have a sense of where I can focus my energy on healing and growing and evolving. So it is like a roadmap, and you've done some really good growth with that. System.
I honestly, you know me, Jess, I spend a lot of money on self-development. Every I invest in myself and growth. Some of the most impactful, effective work I've done, right? It's definitely top 5. And not only to understand myself, but to start understanding people around me and other relationships, and understanding what their, type is, and how that dynamic can, work together, or where we might struggle. I know after I did the Enneagram workshop, I had my husband do it. And just the conversations that we were able to have about that and understanding that was really powerful for our marriage too.
Yeah. I think, that was one of the big shifts that I've seen in you over the last year, is that your marriage has gotten quite a bit stronger as a result of this. I know there have been shifts in your professional world as well. But definitely on the personal side of the house, you've really managed to turn some things around that were not happy in your realm. So I'm curious, tell me a little bit about when it comes to your profession, how would you say, what would have been some of the benefits you've received over on the professional side of the house? How is this helping you over there?
Well, like I mentioned before, I work in the financial world, and it is male dominated and has been for a long time. And so I'm around a lot of masculine energy on a regular basis. So it's been really helpful to have that feminine side, and really identifying the difference between like feminine and masculine, the different things, like even from understanding awareness, right? We have diffuse awareness versus single awareness, right? And so I think that that's really helped, with my business. I think also just to be able to have another perspective, being able to share with people the different things that are going on with me at different times, unlocking those blind spots that I have, right? I think that sometimes we have beliefs, and there are a lot of times they're limited beliefs. And we don't know that necessarily that's limited until somebody says, hey, have you thought about it this way, right? And I really love the group that we meet weekly, is because it's a group of women that are getting together. They're all, various shapes and sizes as far as like backgrounds and, all those different things. But I really appreciate it because it does allow me to sort of hear and listen to what other people have to say and reflect on my, what I'm doing.
Mhm.
The other thing that's really helped is the gratitude practice, right? And just really having like an accountability partner to check in and make sure that I am doing that on a regular basis. And the more you reflect on, how you spend your week, how you spend your day, right? It could be even minute to minute. I just think that that is so great to help you towards success. And whether that is, personally, financially, your health, whatever that is, that's really helped a lot for me too. So I think, and here's the other thing I would say. I mean, especially, everybody needs some sort of self-care, right? Everybody, I think for women in particular, and mothers, I think we're such nurturers and carers of everybody else that it's really great to carve out time for you. That's really what I started this last time that we started working together. It was like, I want to start putting some time for me first, make sure I take care of myself. So I'm not giving from an empty cup all the time, actually, and feeling fulfilled. And so I think that's also translated to my business because of the energy management, understanding myself and how to, work my week actually makes me so much more productive, so much more successful, and just I can be present in my day, which is wonderful.
I had to put you on mute for a second because my dog was making some noise, but I love what you're talking about, because the energy management piece that you just referred to, and the differences between how women operate and how men operate, especially in business, and really learning how to navigate through all that. That's one of the things I'm most passionate about teaching women. And I feel like the work that you're doing around this, it's seeing you grow and evolve and actually implement and put that in place in your professional world, and not have it be something that takes away from what you're doing in your profession, but actually adds to it and allows you to show up from a place of fullness rather than feeling like you're always worn out, exhausted, and drained, is so huge. And it makes my heart so happy to hear you say that you're getting these benefits, because that's what I'm most passionate about. This is part of my mission in life, is literally to teach women, worn out Wonder Women all over the world, how to reclaim their feminine power, how to stand in their power rather than forcing things to happen, right? That difference between power and force, which is exhausting when we're trying to force things, right? So, and you're really taking this and bringing it into your world and integrating it so effectively. So I just want to give kudos to you for that, because you've really taken what we've talked about and really integrated it quite nicely. And I love that you're part of our community.
Yeah, I love being a part of it. Honestly, if you use the tools and all these different things over time, I mean, mountains have been for me. There are things that have changed my life big time. And it's just knowing these tools and working with you has been really helpful, just to have that person that you're kind of like a guide through these different things. So yeah, I appreciate you. And exciting. This last year has been amazing.
Good. I'm so glad. Yeah, I've really enjoyed the community as well. As you know, I created the community because I needed some kind of feminine support in my life as well. And I'm like, well, let's just create it, right? And that was my intention, was to have a community where women could come together and be seen and be heard and be authentic and be real and vulnerable with each other, so that we would know we're not all alone, and that we actually have a tremendous amount of support, and that we are very wise as a collective. It's not just, I lead these meetings, but I'm not necessarily doing all the coaching. There's coaching that's happening across the board between all the women in the group, and there's feedback and advice and support that's being offered. And it's just been a really beautiful experience. So I'm super glad that you've been a part of it. I love having you as a client as well, and just grateful that you're in my life. So I'm curious, is there anything else that you want to share above and beyond what you've already shared today?
Well, I think there are a couple of things. I think that just as, we invest in eating well, working out, whatever it is, this is like the self-care. It kind of is taking all of you, right? It encompasses all of you. and you're worth investing in, and whatever it is that brought me to you, like there's a lot of different things that people have going on in their lives. Like there's so many reasons to work with you in this structure to help you wherever you are, get to where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I really have appreciated that it wasn't like I worked with you and then we stopped. I've really appreciated that we've kept this weekly community going, because the weeks that I miss, I really miss.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, my advice would be just know that when you're working on yourself or areas of your life, that, it's a continuous thing, and that, you don't just learn something and then poof, everything's better. Like you learn something and then you put it into practice and then it doesn't go exactly right. So you put it into practice again, and you kind of are like, building that muscle for yourself to get better at whatever it is that you're working on. And so I would just say that, one of the things I love about the structure that you have with the weekly is that you get this opportunity to check in weekly with yourself and others about your progress, and ask for support. And there's it can be a really intimate place to be, and with women, a lot of times when you get women together, it is that way. But I also feel really safe being vulnerable, and so it's okay. That would be the other thing. It's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to be a part of this group. And it's just something that you probably want to do for some time.
Yeah.
If you really want to have results in your life.
Yeah, I agree. The path to self-mastery is not a simple point A to point B. It's usually a point A, point B, back to C, and then to D, and then course correct again and come back to B. It's like, it's an over and over and over again process, right? It's that repetition and consistency that makes the biggest difference. And so I'm glad that you brought that up. That's really great wisdom and advice to share with anybody who might be watching this testimonial as well. So, and I love that the community has been a really great safe space for you to play in the sandbox with all of that, so to speak, right? Yeah, you get to get in there, get your hands dirty, make some messes, and then hopefully come out with a finished sandcastle in the end, so to speak. So yeah, well, great. I am so grateful for you, and I appreciate your business very much. I appreciate the wisdom that you bring to the table in all of our group meetings as well, because you're a wise woman. You've grown so much over the last 10 or 12 years that I've known you. Yeah. Truly you have. And it's just an honor to be part of your life. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Go right back at you.
Awesome. So there you have it. This, like I said, that my beautiful friend Aspen Spratt, who's been working with me now for years. If you yourself are interested in learning how to master the art of self-rescue, like Aspen has been doing and really succeeding at quite nicely, actually, then I would love for you to just visit my website, which is jessbonasso.com. That's JESSBONASSO.com. You can sign up for a complimentary self-rescue toolkit there. You can also sign up for a complimentary discovery consult as well. So if you're wanting to know a little bit about, for your own sake, like what a self-rescue might look like in your own life, you can learn more about that. And then you can also learn about the Bravehearted Sisterhood, which is the community that Aspen was just referring to. That is something that I offer as a monthly membership community, and that's available on my website as well. So would love to have you join us if you decide you want to come join Aspen and I in the group, or you just want to do some one-on-one work. But otherwise, thanks again, Aspen, for sharing your time and your energy with me today. I do appreciate you and everything that you bring to the table. And I know you're going to be changing lots and lots of people's lives, but you're going to be doing it in a way that fuels and excites you rather than drains and depletes you going forward because of the tools that you've learned. Right?
Right. That's right.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
All right. Take care. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.